Let's dive in. This time we're taking a look at initiation rituals, and not just from one angle.
Oh, yeah, we've got a lot to cover.
We do, from the secret doctrine and the eternal ethers, all the way to, well, how about Rosicrucianism?
Can't forget Rudolf Steiner. Rosicrucianism and modern initiation really lays some things out.
It does. And of course, we'll touch on how all of this connects to modern spiritual thought as well.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Initiation, I mean, it pops up in so many different cultures and time periods.
Doesn't it? From ancient Egypt to, I don't know, Native American tribes. It's like we're all searching for some kind of, well, transformation.
Totally. So what are we seeing? Are there like common themes across these different traditions? What are the steps involved?
Yeah, I'm curious about that too. What kind of preparations do people have to go through?
I think one of the biggest things you see again and again is this idea of, well, death and rebirth. Symbolically, of course.
Right, not literally dying, more like shedding your old self.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're getting rid of those old limitations, attachments, all this stuff, and you emerge as something new, like a fresh start.
So hitting the reset button.
You could say that. And there are definitely specific processes people follow to achieve this.
So it's not just like random chaos.
Not at all. There's a purpose to it all. Like the secret doctrine talks about this idea of humanity repeating certain evolutionary patterns.
Huh. And where does initiation fit into that?
Well, it's seen as this driving force, It pushes us forward on our evolutionary journey.
Okay, so there's direction to this whole transformation thing.
Right. And to navigate it properly, you need preparation, like training for a marathon. You don't just show up and run.
Makes sense. So what kind of training are we talking about here?
All sorts of things. Fasting, meditation, physical challenges, whatever it takes to get you ready for what's coming.
It sounds intense. Any examples from the sources we have that stand out?
Steiner describes this really interesting thing in Rosicrucianism and modern initiation. He talks about how initiates have these two-part conversations.
Conversations? With who?
Not with another person, really. It's more like an internal dialogue. First, they become super aware of their physical body, but not just like, oh, I have a body, more like, wow, this is a complex system all interconnected with cosmic forces.
Wow, it was pretty deep.
Right. And then the second part of the conversation is all about understanding those cosmic forces themselves, like how they're actually working within us.
So it's like a crash course in biology and like the mysteries of the universe all at once.
Pretty much. And Steiner says that this deep self-knowledge, understanding your place in the bigger picture, it's crucial for real transformation.
It's interesting, it kind of reminds me of all the talk about mindfulness these days. It's like a modern version of those ancient practices.
It is. Whether it's ancient rituals or today's self-help stuff, that inward journey, that's a constant.
It is. So we've got death and rebirth, rigorous prep work, and a deep dive into self-knowledge. What happens next? What does the actual transformation look like?
That's where it gets really juicy. Often it's described as a shift in consciousness.
Ooh, now we're talking. What does that mean?
It's like an unveiling of hidden truths.
Okay, I'm hooked. Give me the details.
Well, Steiner has this beautiful description. He talks about initiates gaining the ability to, well, see through the things and processes of nature to the work of the gods.
Wow. So they can perceive the interconnectedness of everything, like seeing the divine at work in everyday things.
Exactly. It's like accessing a whole new dimension of reality, something that was always there, but you just couldn't see it before.
So many questions. What kind of hidden truths are we talking about here? Is it specific knowledge or more of a feeling and experience?
That's a great question. And maybe the eternal ethers can shed some light on that with its concept of the Akashic field.
Wait, the Akashic field, that cosmic memory bank.
The one and only. Some believe that initiation could allow us to tap into that field. Imagine accessing a record of everything that has ever happened.
Mind-blowing. Past lives, the secrets of the universe, all of it.
That's the idea. It's like a deep well of knowledge and experience just waiting to be explored.
This is why I love these deep dives. We started with initiation, and now we're talking about cosmic memory banks.
And we're just getting started. There's so much more to uncover about the transformative effects of initiation, the challenges, and why it's all kept so secret. So much more to uncover. But before we get too deep into that Akashic field, let's talk about something else fascinating about initiation.
What's that?
Well, the challenges. We talked about preparations, but what makes initiation itself so tough?
Yeah, why not just give people a spiritual handbook and call it a day?
Right. Well, the Transcendental Universe has an interesting take on this. It brings up this concept of cosmic acceleration.
Cosmic acceleration. Okay, that sounds a bit out there. even for us.
I know, right? But basically, the idea is that certain beings, let's call them progressed entities, from a previous cycle are actually driven to evolve faster this time around.
So, like, they're on the fast track.
Exactly. And the challenges of initiation, those are actually seen as catalysts for that accelerated growth.
Huh. So it's like a spiritual boot camp, pushing you to your limits so you come out stronger, more spiritually aware.
I like that analogy. It's about confronting your fears, your limitations, those things that hold you back.
That makes sense. But still, why the secrecy? Why not share this wisdom with everyone?
Well, there are a few different ideas about that. One thought is that some truths are just too much, too overwhelming to handle all at once.
Yeah, like trying to explain quantum physics to someone who's never even seen a calculator?
Exactly. There's a reason knowledge is often revealed gradually. You need a solid foundation before moving to more complex concepts.
Okay, so it's about preventing information overload.
That's part of it. But there's also the idea of protecting the teachings themselves. Think about those ancient mystery schools.
They were often operating in societies that, well, might not have approved of their teachings.
Exactly. So secrecy was a way to stay safe, to avoid persecution.
Makes sense.
So they had to be careful. They did. And even beyond that, secrecy can protect teachings from being misused or distorted. Knowledge is power, and that power can be dangerous in the wrong hands.
Yeah, there's that saying, a little knowledge is a dangerous thing.
That's it. And that's why initiation isn't just about the head, intellectual stuff. It's also about moral and ethical development.
Right, so the character of the person going through initiation matters just as much as how smart they are.
Totally. It's about becoming wiser, not just knowing more facts. And that brings us back to the transformative effects of initiation. What actually happens to someone going through this?
Okay, spill the beans. What kind of transformation are we talking about?
Well, it depends on the tradition, the ritual, but there are some common threads. Symbolic death and rebirth, for one.
Like shedding your old skin, becoming someone new.
Yes, like the Native American vision quest, for example.
Oh yeah, tell me about that.
So the person going through this isolates themselves in nature, often fasting. It's about letting go of their old ways of being, like a symbolic death of the ego. When they come back, it's like they're reborn. New name, new purpose, deeper connection to the spirit world.
Yeah, that's powerful stuff.
It is. And that idea of crossing a threshold, moving from one state to another, that's central to a lot of initiation traditions.
So it's not just learning, it's about a total shift in who you are, how you see the world.
That's right. So how does that shift actually happen? How is consciousness transformed?
Yeah, that's the big mystery, isn't it?
It is, and it's tough to explain, but Steiner describes it as this ability to see through the things and processes of nature to the work of the gods. It's about perceiving this deeper level of reality, like seeing the hidden forces behind everything.
It's like those moments when everything suddenly makes sense, when you see the world in a whole new light.
Exactly. And that sense of insight, that feeling of revelation, that's often a big part of initiation.
It's like getting a glimpse behind the curtain, seeing the universe's secrets.
Right. And that makes you wonder, what other truths are hidden within us, just waiting to be unlocked through the right kind of initiation?
I'd love to know. Do the sources give any specific examples of what those transformations might be like?
They do, and that's what we'll dig into next. We'll explore things like heightened intuition, mystical experiences, and this amazing sense of unity with the cosmos, all triggered by initiation.
Back again for more on initiation. We've talked about challenges, secrecy, even death and rebirth, all part of these rituals. But I gotta say, the thing that really gets me is the possibility of, well, really changing who you are deep down. Like what actually happens inside when someone goes through initiation?
It's the question, isn't it? And though it's different from one tradition to the next, our sources do give us hints. One thing that keeps coming up is, well, intuition. Like your intuition gets supercharged.
Intuition. That gut feeling, that inner voice, we all kind of have it right. But you're saying initiation cranks it up.
That's it. Remember the eternal ethers and the whole Akashic field thing? That cosmic memory bank?
Yeah, hard to forget that one.
Right. Well, some people believe that initiation lets you access that field directly. Like suddenly you can tap into this huge well of knowledge that goes way beyond what our normal minds can grasp.
So it's more than learning facts. It's like understanding on a deeper level. Like knowing without knowing how you know.
Exactly. And with that amped up intuition, people start to feel more connected to everything around them. It's like that barrier between you and the universe starts to disappear, and you get this feeling of oneness.
That's got to be powerful. Does anything in the sources actually describe these, like, mystical experiences?
They do, but it's almost always vague, like words can't quite capture it. Steiner, though, he talks about seeing through the things and processes of nature to the work of the gods. It's like seeing past the surface and glimpsing the forces that really make everything tick.
Trying to picture it. Is it like having a vision? Or just feeling deeply connected to something bigger?
Maybe both, maybe even more than that, things we can't even categorize. Think of those ancient mystery schools, so secretive. What went on in those places that they had to hide from everyone else?
Makes you wonder, doesn't it? It
Yeah.
feels like with all our focus on logic and science today, we might have lost touch with that side of things.
It's a good point. Maybe that's why initiation in all its forms still fascinates us so much. We're looking for something more, that sense of awe we've kind of forgotten.
And like you said before, maybe we don't need ancient temples or secret societies. Maybe those tough moments we face every day, those are initiations too.
You got it. Death and rebirth, it doesn't have to be this big formal thing. Every time you push past your comfort zone, confront something scary, overcome an obstacle, you're shedding old stuff and becoming something new.
So like even messing up can be an initiation if you learn from it.
Exactly. It's about how you approach it. With awareness, intention, that willingness to step into the unknown. Like those who went through the formal rituals, we can look for guidance, find mentors, people who've walked a similar path, and we can take time to really think about what we've been through, let those lessons sink in, and come out changed on the other side.
This whole conversation has been eye-opening. Initiation isn't just some old tradition. It's something we can all experience in our own way.
That's the key, isn't it? That possibility for change, for growth, for waking up to something more. It's not out there somewhere. It's right here, inside us, in the everyday ups and downs.
What a powerful message. As we wrap up our deep dive, the big question that sticks with me is, how do we approach our lives, even the hard parts, with that same sense of reverence? Like really seeing the chance for transformation in every moment.
That's a question worth holding on to. Explore it. See where it leads you. The answers might surprise you.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for taking us on this journey into the world of initiation. It's been a real pleasure. And to everyone listening, keep exploring, keep asking those big questions, and remember the power you hold within. Until next time.